Hi everyone, Bill Burt. I'm with a good friend, a local friend from Andover, Massachusetts. He's now with Yahoo.com, has a blog called Shutdown Corner on Yahoo.com. Gets a lot of hits, also a radio gig, digital media gig,
Yep.
which is on what?
It's called 120 Sports. You can go to 120sports.com. We actually tape in Oprah's studio. We've got the Football Fix show, 12 to 2 Eastern, and college, pro, recruiting, draft, everything.
We can take some credit here because Eric got his start
Cut my teeth.
at the Eagle-Tribune years ago. We'll get into those stories at another time. Tell us about your early thoughts here in Phoenix.
I mean, you know, being around the teams, it's easy to see that they're both pretty comfortable being in the spotlight. Seahawks were here last year. Patriots obviously have been, most of them, you know, or a good number of them have been through the playoffs and things like that before. So, you know, sometimes you get the idea one team's a little more nervous, a little more on edge. I haven't really detected that. Patriots very businesslike, as we were talking about. Seahawks a very fun team to talk to at times. So, you know, that's one difference. Obviously, Brady's cold has been sort of a chatting point. Do I think it's going to make a difference? Probably not. I'm curious to see if the Patriots can run the football up the middle. That, to me, is one of the biggest things. We've seen Seahawks be a little bit vulnerable in that area. So I think that's been one area that if Brian Stork's healthy, and if they can punish that middle of the defense, then that's going to be huge.
And then that's huge because I think what it does is it allows Brady to get a little more time, whether play action. If they're looking for the run, Brady is
popping over the top. Yep, absolutely. And you know, the other interesting thing is, who do they put on Sherman's side? Because he typically stays on the left. Is that LaFell? They want to get physical with him, or do they just sort of throw a ringer out there and try to attack him in other ways?
Yes. So you've covered, obviously, you've been covering football for over a decade.
Yeah.
And you've obviously covered a bunch of Patriots. I've seen you at a couple Super Bowls
Right.
with the Patriots. In fact, I saw you 3 years ago. I'm assuming you feel this team's obviously a step above maybe the one that was here 3 years ago.
I think you were right. You said that to me the other day, and I completely agree. That felt like a team that, I don't want to say backed its way into the Super Bowl, but sort of in a normal year, 32nd ranked defense probably doesn't belong. These two are better squads. You know, just the roster talent top to bottom. I don't think the Patriots have a top 5 roster, but they have a really good one and a really solid one. We've seen what Revis and Browner have done. We've seen how guys have sort of turned the corner. And then these little important additions to, you know, Tim Wright and Brandon Bolden and Blunt and people like that.
Quick thoughts on the game. What do you think?
I've been kind of leaning Seahawks. You know, I just sort of feel like they're a little bit better. If they can get any kind of pass rush, I'd be really worried about the Patriots' chances. But again, that's where the run comes in. I don't see Russell Wilson having a horrible game. I mean, he was pretty bad last week, as bad as we've seen him since he's been a starter. I just don't get the feeling he's going to have another one of those disastrous games. But, you know, it wouldn't stun me at all if New England won.
Could be a great game. In fact, I think this is an intriguing matchup.
Yes, sir.
I would be surprised if it was like last year. I would be very surprised because I think the Patriots are better. But also, shout out to some people back home. Your parents are in Andover.
Yeah, Jim and Kathy, they just left for Florida this morning, actually. So they got on the road. My dad texted me at about 6 a.m. New England time, saying, you know, of course, 4 a.m. here, saying, we're into Hartford. It's snowing like crazy. We're trying to get out alive. So Jim and Kathy, have a good time in Florida.
All right, thanks for stopping in. And make sure you check them out on Yahoo.com. Shutdown Corner. Very talented Eric Edholm. Thanks.
Thank you.